Hey everyone, welcome back to PHAMCAST. Continuing our conversation here with Dr. Dave, one of our FAMbassadors, a chiropractor, sports chiropractor, and trained in functional medicine. So, we talked a lot about owning your story, listening to your body, knowing your metrics, treating life as this game, like an athlete that you're training for and that you're in the driver's seat of, but having fun while you do it. The one piece that we haven't talked about, which I really want to dive into right now, is the critical importance. We've talked about the importance of team and having your healthcare team, but there's this other piece that is equally as important, and that's community. Community meaning all the FAMbassadors together, meaning all communities across the country, different municipalities. Every municipality has its own flair, has its own challenges. There's some commonality amongst all of us, which is what FAM is here to do. But what I'm thrilled about is having lead FAMbassadors like Dr. Dave, like Renee and Tatiana in Ottawa, like Stephanie in Exeter, who are saying, no, in my community, I'm going to be the lead FAMbassador to help elevate this movement so we can get other FAMbassadors at the table. Dave, you've been instrumental in the Niagara region to bring FAM to your community. And together we raised the flag last week with the mayor.
So much fun.
Wasn't that fun?
And Jim is such a great guy.
He is. Like Jim being the mayor of Niagara Falls.
Mayor Diodati is just a gem of a human being.
Absolutely.
He's so kind. He's so kind to me. I'm so grateful for Jim. Jim, thank you.
And MPP Gates, who's the critic for long-term care, Wayne Gates was there, which speaks volumes to the impact that this non-funded, grassroots, passion-filled project in 4 short years is having.
Revolution.
It's a revolution. Yeah. It is. We are revolutionizing, and I keep saying we're building this FAM plane as we drive it. And it was so neat to be there. We were having fun. It was conversations. But community matters. And in your community, you're taking the lead on some of that. And I want to talk a bit deeper about why that's so important. So that, yes, we have online world, and yes, we have FAMbassadors that you can see, globally online, which is important. We need that access because some people can't get out of the house. But there's nothing like local matters. Being face-to-face with your healthcare team matters. Being in community, because we know what that does to our health, to loneliness, to mental health. We need to be in community now more than ever, especially since the pandemic. We need to come back together again. You're doing that in the Niagara region. Why is it important for you?
The health of a community is based upon the health of the organisms that are in that community. And so that's the humans that are there. The mental health issues that are in Niagara Falls area and that region, the Niagara region, is a critical issue. Homelessness is an issue. Food scarcity is an issue. And so the health of the people in that region will determine the health of the region. And I have a vision, and I know that Mayor Diodati shares this vision, that we someday have a big, large convention meeting where we have our FAMbassadors meeting at the convention center. We talked about this a year ago. We've talked about it, right? Because that's my vision. I want a big stadium event where we have a lineup of people, different FAMbassadors that can launch this thing. And you're smirking with something because you have an idea about something, I'm sure.
No, there's already something in the works which people will know, but I had to get through this February.
Okay.
But a symposium is already in the works.
Got it.
But
I was not aware of that.
No, you were not.
I'm not. But the alignment is critical.
The alignment is critical,
right.
and it's also about having each community having a voice, having their uniqueness, but still feeling connected to a bigger vision and mission, so that we can all play a part in changing the legacy of healthcare. That's the magic in it. And like you said, you explained some of the things that Niagara Falls is struggling with. Jen McCutcheon in the Belleville area, Real Lives Touched by Addiction. She's leading the charge out there and have brought in Belleville Police because they've got a mental health addiction and homelessness crisis there. It's all across this country. But I want each heartbeat of every community, and I can't pretend to know every heartbeat. You've got to be living and breathing and playing in those communities so that you can surround yourself. So you practice in that region.
I do, in St. Catharines, correct.
But St. Catharines, Niagara, it's all there. Grimsby, that whole corridor.
Welland,
yes.
Ridgeway,
absolutely.
All of them.
All of them need to be coming together, but you're leading the way. And I want people to hear it from you, what, as a clinician and as a person that lives and works in that community, how important is it for other practitioners, and not just healthcare professionals, because organizations that believe in the preventive health movement, municipalities, every level of government, insurance companies, what will you tell other people that can join the family? Why is it important to have a heartbeat in the community?
Well, we're better together when we're all working together and we're not siloed, as you say. I mean, it's a critical point in my life too as well, that we bring all these different people, all these different organizations together as one, and we're not operating our own little worlds with egos and with turfs that we want to have. We have to be thinking about the people that we're serving, and the people that we're serving are going to have these multiple issues and multiple realities at the same time. And I would put a call out to anybody in my area that wants to be a part of this FAM network. Let's organize an area in that Niagara region where we can collaborate and work together and learn from each other and understand each other and understand what our strengths and our weaknesses are, so that we can do the best thing for the people. It's all about the people.
Yes.
And it's all about that patient that sits in front of us to get them the best results for the best outcome, given what they choose to do. When I meet with a patient, I say, listen, this is your body, it's not mine. I'm not here to make the choices, but I'm here to educate you, to help you know what you can make the choices for. Because an educated patient can make a better choice.
Yes.
And a better choice is a better outcome. And a better outcome then can lead to so much more at the end of life, where you're influencing now and passing down that legacy. So it's reach out. Reach out to me, connect with me, connect with you, and let's find a way to get them into that network. Get as many people as possible, because I do have a vision for that convention center in Niagara Falls to be filled.
You betcha.
So, and I know people, and you know people, and so we're going to put this together, and we're going to rock the socks. And Jim knows this, because when I met with Jim before we even had that FAM movement, I said, Jim, this is what I want.
Yeah. And this is how visions evolve and grow, and the momentum builds, and how we continue to make a difference in it. And I love that, but it is really important that people feel they can take some ownership in it. Whether you are the resident that's living there, whether you and attending some of these events, or you're meeting these practitioners, or whether you're volunteering to be involved in the preventative health movement, so that we can all together move this mission forward. It just feels good to be doing something, instead of just complaining and sitting and feeling like we're all living in a really challenging time right now.
We are.
Globally. But we want to share the good stories, the good connections, the empowerment things, and that's what this movement is doing. We're not just talking about it anymore, it's actually happening in real time. And that's the power of one.
Yeah.
I might have started it, but now this ripple effect is really remarkable. So we're trying to put systems in place. We've got a FAMbassador submission form, whether you're a healthcare professional, an organization, maybe you want to sponsor, because all of this takes time and money and energy and costs. And the flags that we fly, they cost money thanks to our sponsorship. Like, this is what it takes. But I'm going to quote Dr. Kathy Falds, who was a previous Ontario Medical Association president, that years ago, before the pandemic. She followed me online. She knows me. She's an incredible doctor. She's worked, inside the system for years. Palliative care is one of her specialties. And I remember her reaching out to me online and saying, Margaret, I love what you do. Can you open a Wallace for Wellness in London, Ontario, where she was? And I'm like, oh no, one clinic's enough. But she really encouraged me. She goes, I love that you're pushing the envelope and meeting with change makers and sitting on boards and hospital boards and doing all that work. But she said something really important. She said, Margaret, you need to also bubble from the ground up. The everyday person's voice needs to be at this as well. Keep pushing from the top down, bubble from the ground up, and eventually they'll come together and magic will happen. When the pandemic happened and people were feeling really lost and challenged to get their doctors and they don't know where to turn, how many times have you been told by a patient, I want to help myself, but I don't know where to turn?
Exactly.
That's the gap that FAM is filling. So thank you, Dr. Kathy Falds, for not only your commitment to healthcare. You're a brilliant physician. You're brilliant, you honor all practitioners that feel the same way and that are aligned. You've introduced many FAMbassadors to this movement, and I will forever be grateful for you. But it was such sound advice to really bring because everybody deserves a voice at the table.
100%. And then the patient has to have that main central voice.
Totally.
Right? there was a video that was produced a number of years ago by Heart and Stroke.
Yes.
And I don't know if you remember it at all.
I do. I know
right?
what you're going to say.
You know what I'm going to say, right? And what they said was, and this is unacceptable on my watch, so as long as I have breath, what they said was that the average Canadian will spend the last 10 years of their life living in sickness.
Yep.
It's unacceptable.
It is.
And I witnessed that as the grandson of my grandfather and the oldest son of my mother and my father. The difference between his life, only 17 days in the hospital, of which a day and a half he was out of it, and my mother, who succumbed to Alzheimer's, over 2,600 days of her life. She only lived to 89.
Yeah. And we're doing research on the decade of decline.
Right.
Or we could put research and resources into prevention. It's not as sexy necessarily.
Well, compression of morbidity was James Freese's work back in 1980. He said that it was possible to compress morbidity at the end of life, and he took flack for it.
Yeah.
So I've been following James Freese for a long time. It was Jeff Bland, the father of functional medicine, who taught us all about him.
Yeah.
So that the health span is longer than your lifespan.
Exactly. And then
Right.
and that has an impact on the systems and the strain on systems, because when
100%.
we're living with, with function and vitality longer, there's less strain, and let alone the fact we don't live to work, we work to live, and we want to be able to enjoy each other, not be, like you said, crawling to the finish line or waiting for retirement. We need to really rethink the way we think about, and that's the simple things, the day-to-day things, and it's so important. So it's always fun to talk about. I want you to talk about a couple of your programs before we finish up here, because we have to put people into action. We don't just talk. We give resources, we give tips, we show the research, we give you all the access to people, but then you got to act. Talk about a couple of your programs you're doing.
Yeah, a couple of them. One's the Men's Hero program, Maverick Health Men's Hero program. It's more self-directed. It's a simple program that gives people some of the tools that they need to have to understand what it means to consider themselves as being valuable, what exercise is all about, how to do strength training. So that's a really cool program. And the other one that I'm really passionate about now is a program called A Life That Fits. It's more of a 12-week program that I coach people on, give them a chance to see themselves as the value that they are, and help them climb the mountain of their life. I'm not here to pull them up, drag them up, push them up. I'm here to show them the way so they can get to that mountaintop experience. For men, and what does it mean to understand how a man thinks, how a man could live, and how to do that in a servant kind of leadership, not as an overpowering, egotistical way, but what does it mean to serve the people that are in their lives, with humility, with kindness, and with love. It needs to be a loving environment. So, yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. It's been a 25-year dream to have this. My History of Life book and doing other tools. You may have heard of Life book, John Butcher's book, John and Missy Butcher. I've done that, and so this vision of having guys come together to have that camaraderie and brotherhood, and to see us really change heart and soul in cultures and communities, and help people see themselves as valuable.
Yeah, and I think in that, vulnerability is strength.
100%.
It's the biggest strength, and yet we don't see that necessarily culturally, and it goes across both men and women, but I think certainly in the male culture, vulnerability can be hard, but it is the strongest thing you can have, when you can be vulnerable and to take a look, and then to help others with that. I know that by sharing stories, and we do that a lot here at this table, and now in this FAM movement, as the tsunami goes across the country, it's really cool to see how when one person shares, another, even if it's quietly, it doesn't have to be this kumbaya homecoming, because I don't know, I know a lot of men, I respect and love them dearly. A lot of the men I hang out with, they don't want that kumbaya moment necessarily, but they do want that entrance in where they can feel vulnerable, talk about something, and have a tangible tool and action to function, which is why the sports analogy, and even if you're not a sports guy, the tool analogy for cars or whatever it is makes sense. And I'm really grateful to be able to have these ongoing conversations with you, Dave, but to help open the door for people to think a bit differently, and men with their women, and women with their men.
Yeah, 100%. I mean,
we're wired different. I've noticed.
I've got my 100-year party planned.
I love it.
I know what I'm going to do. I know what songs. Celebrate by Kool and the Gang.
I love it.
Right?
I love that song.
Right? That's the song.
That's the song.
I'm going to come into my room at 100.
Okay.
Playing the music for Celebrate.
Well, I am going to give a shout out to someone who is about to turn 100 this May, and I had the privilege and pleasure of meeting Bob, who happens to live in the community that my mother-in-law lives in. And he attended my mother-in-law's 80th birthday party on Saturday night. And Bob and his beautiful wife, Marion, so Bob is 99 3/4, and in May he will turn 100. He came to the party with his beautiful bride. I don't want to misquote her age. You never want to misquote a woman's age, but she's in her 90s, with his suit jacket on, there, ready with a smile on his face. He had a beer in his hand when he was offered one. But soaked up community, laughed and enjoyed, and he is so looking forward to his 100th birthday. We need more of Bobs.
We do.
In our world.
I want to be a Bob.
You're going to be a Bob.
I'm going to be a Bob.
And we're going to play Cool in the Gang.
Oh my gosh,
to celebrate. And we should be doing that at every stage, because every birthday is a gift. How are you going to use the next trip around the sun, I guess, is the call to action.
Yeah.
Join the family and really start to listen, pay attention, and find your family. PHAMILY. Dave, thanks so much.
Oh, thank you. It's my privilege and honor.
Yeah, you'll be back again here at PHAMCAST. I know you will be.
Yeah, thank you.
And I know how busy you are, and it's nice for you to take time out of your clinic schedule to come and to do this, because this is how we create legacy change.
Margaret, anything you're doing, I am there.
Thank you. So for all of you watching, if you have any questions, reach out. We want to know what you are struggling with. If you're a healthcare professional and want to join and be a FAMbassador, if you're an organization that wants to be part of this, perhaps you're a sponsor that wants to help us, because all of this continues to happen and it's growing in leaps and bounds. We need some help. This is your rally cry to join the family. And here's what I do know. We will never regret what we do. We only regret what we don't. Be part of the legacy change of healthcare, so we can all look back 10 years from now and know that we had this conversation in 2026 and say, wow, I played a small part in that, because every small part matters. You matter. And until next time, remember, a healthy tomorrow begins with prevention today. We are here to breathe belief into you. Join the family. We'll see you next time.